What's up, Facebook Fortnite group? Velo here, back again with another video, and today I want to talk about peeking, okay? Because this is something that does not get enough emphasis. It's something that I don't think people really practice, but it can save you huge in-game. In fact, it can get you a lot of kills and reduce your risk of taking damage or even being killed in-game. So let's first talk about what is peeking. Okay, peeking is getting vision of your opponent and then stepping out and having the opportunity to take a shot while reducing the chance of them hitting you, right? And in this case, this being a third-person shooter, let's go ahead and look at our character here. Our reticle, or our crosshair here, is on the right side of our character. Okay, so that means when we peek around a right-hand corner, or we call this a right-hand peek, our crosshair is going to come out before our body, all right? So we're going to be able to peek out, take a shot, before this player can likely react in time to hit us first. All right, so a right-hand peek would look like this. Okay, you might have been victim of this, or maybe you've figured this one out on your own. This one's pretty common, but look how far around this corner we can see without exposing ourselves. Maybe there's a player back here, and by looking around the corner like this, just using that field of view, we can see a long way without having to expose ourselves from players that would be on this side of the map. Okay. Another thing that you can do if you want to take this a step further, maybe he knows you're here and he's ready for it. If you do want to take this challenge, you can do the unexpected, maybe come in from the top like this. It's much less likely that the opponent's going to have time looking at this corner to look up and take that shot. So there's a few things you can do there. You can also crouch. That's another option that I've seen a lot of players making, is that crouch shot, because they can, ADS when you're crouched, where you can't aim down sights in the air. So you can aim down sights and then pop, hit that shot also. So that would be a right-hand peek. A left-hand peek, this one's a little bit more challenging because, for obvious reasons, the reticle, your body is going to come out before your crosshair, right? Your body is going to come out before your crosshair, and they might have a little bit more time to react to it. So if you're playing against a good player, especially if they know you're there, it's likely they'll actually hit you before you hit them. And if that shot is fatal, you're not going to get a shot off to begin with. So a player that I was talking with, this was yesterday or the day before, they actually brought up a good point. They said, what happens if, let's back up here because he's going to start shooting me. What happens if he has the right-hand peek, right? We're in a situation like this. It's a door, so it's not like I can just jump in and maybe catch him off guard that way. What is the best way to handle this player here? Because if I peek like this, he's just going to blast me with a shotgun. Okay, there's a few things that you can do. It depends on the situation. Depends on what they do. But for me, I think what I would do is probably build a ramp, something like this, that I can do one of two things. A, I can see how he reacts. Maybe he starts shooting at my ramp and I just have to sit here and turbo build my ramp. Or he does something else. So we kind of have to wait and see. But if he comes in, now I have control. If he comes into the room when I'm on a ramp, I can place a trap here or something like that, or I can make a quick edit. This is the other thing that I was going to get into, is that if he has the right-hand peek when I'm over on this side, right? This makes sense. Anytime you have a left-hand peek, they have a right-hand peek. If you build that ramp, you can come over, edit, and now you have the right-hand peek, right? So you just took the advantage from them. Now, not every situation you're going to want to take that fight. Another thing that you could do, if say you're in a bedroom like this. This is a bedroom in a house. This is a common situation. The door's there and the player's there. We don't have this ramp here yet, but you know he's there. What you can do is you can either put a ramp or something like that, build a wall, and then try to get out. Or you can try to get out through the roof. This is another option. Maybe this takes you upstairs, and now you can break this floor if it's there, replace that, and now you have the next peek that we're going to talk about, which is looking down, right? Peeking down. Peeking like this is going to have you exposed a lot longer, a lot more, whereas if you jump shot, sometimes you can catch him off guard like that. The other good option is to build over your opponent and then give yourself, again, another right-hand peek, right? Then they'll edit. Let's go over here so this guy's not shooting at us. Let me explain that again. So your opponent's behind this wall, and you'll see a lot of pros break this cone, replace it. So now they own this cone. Your opponent can't put another cone here. They'll edit it. And then they'll break this floor and then replace the floor. So now the floor belongs to you, and your opponent's down there. By editing this piece, or even just this one, you have a right-hand peek now, and we kind of discussed this, right? So you can either try the jump shot, or you can try coming up and peeking like this. I think you're a little bit more exposed, or you can come up and take the right-hand peek like that, which is usually what I prefer. I like this edit here and then shooting down like that. Okay? Now, peeking up is a little bit more difficult because there is a high ground advantage in this game. Okay? So in this case, this player is above us. We're inside this box. I see a lot of people do this, right? They're inside a box with a cone or a ramp, and then they just edit and shoot. Well, when you edit, if he's predicting it, it takes you a second to get your shotgun out, and they can actually land a shot usually sooner than you. Whereas if you do not have this ramp and you're up close and you make that edit, it might bait the shot. They might shoot early, but then you can jump and you can predict when their head is going to, or they won't be able to predict when your head is in there. You'll just be able to jump up, boom, hit that shot. So I really like the jump shot in this situation. Again, you can try to get a right-hand peek. There's a few things that you can do there. Now, let's talk about long-range engagements, because you're not always going to be up close like this. And this is actually where I probably see people make the biggest mistakes. When they're in a long-range engagement, maybe they're boxed up and they're just trying to get a few cheeky shots, or they're trying to get a snipe. Let's put ourselves in this position. Who's ever been like this? You just build up a ramp and you start shooting at a person over here. Okay, first off, we're very exposed, right? Who's ever been up here doing this and then boom, they get sniped, or they just take unnecessary damage from a player over here that we didn't even know was there. Okay, in this case, any person that you shoot at, doesn't matter where they are, as soon as you peek, you're exposed 360 degrees around the map. Okay, now there's situations where, you know, this is all you have. You're trying to conserve mats, and you know there's only one player around, and you can't always know, right? Depends on where you are on the map. You might think, hey, it's likely that we're the only two people here, and I don't really have to worry about people behind me, and that's okay. But at the very least, I would recommend putting some walls on the sides of you. Now, when you peek, you're not exposed to people down here, but you still are exposed to people that are going to be on your same level. So here's another thing that you can do. Put a little guard up like this, and now you can peek, and now you're only exposed to people in this field of view. Still not the best option, but it's an option. Okay, so now let's put ourselves inside a box. Okay, this is a better situation in my opinion. Again, not every situation is going to call for you to get into a tower, but this is very common, especially when you get into some more of the advanced levels in the game. So now we're inside here. We have a cone. Now we can peek at a player like this guy. And look who else can shoot us. This guy, but who can't, all right? That guy over there can't, that guy over there can't. Only two players have vision of us right now, and we can shoot at both of them pretty easily without exposing much of our body, just our head. Okay, so this is a really good option. You can also edit this corner like this, peek like that. There's a lot of things that you can do from within the tower. I also recommend mixing up your position if you do get into a situation where you're in a tower. Okay, so build up. Give yourself some layers. This is a good position to get into. In fact, getting up higher is going to give you more field of view when you're using that third person. Look how much we can see of the map without exposing ourselves to any of these players. Whereas down here, the same peak, we're not seeing as much of the map. And in fact, if we go down one more level, you guys see where I'm going with this, right? Same peak. Without exposing ourselves, we can barely see them without exposing our head to fire. So getting height is important. That's why you hear a lot of people talk about high ground retakes and things like that to gain height, but also so that you can do a few different things like this. All right, so here's a good one that you'll see a lot of top tier players do, and you guys can do this as well. If you go ahead and edit this floor and come up and just hit your edit key, now you can peek through the top of your builds without taking fire, and in fact, you're completely protected. So now you can see what's happening out here around the map without taking any fire. And if they start shooting at you, you can just build walls like this, or you can just duck back down to safety. Let's go ahead and break these for right now, because we're going to talk about the next part. So this is something that I see a lot of pros doing, and a lot of advanced players taking this to the next level. Okay, so let's say you're in your box right now and you want to peek around and see what's happening. They'll edit up like this, and if most of the action's on this side, they'll edit up this corner, hop up, reset this, and then put themselves inside their cone. Okay, now they're up on top of their floor piece inside their cone, and when they hit that edit key, look how much vision they have without exposing themselves at all. It's getting more and more predictable, so people will just start spamming your cones sometimes. But in that case, what you can do, same thing. You can just build walls around you, or you can edit the floor underneath you and drop back down into your box away from cover. So away from fire, I was trying to say. So talking about mixing it up. Say we're in our box like this, and we want to peek at this guy right here. Okay, so we take a couple shots. He notices us. Now he knows where we are because he just saw us reset this wall. Well, if we build up like this, edit this, and now take some shots like this, he's not predicting this, and you're going to catch him off guard, be less predictable, and you're going to be able to hit a lot more shots before they hit you. Okay, there's a variety of these. Some of my favorite personally, edit up this corner right here, edit this top corner, and now you get this really cool third person shot where you can actually pull out your sniper, something like this. He cannot shoot us right now. We're not really exposed to any of these players. And then I can just stick up and snipe them. Very little exposure in that situation. Another good one is when you build up like this, what you can do, if you do have a wall here, you can place a wall here, you can do something like this. Edit this bottom 4 corner right here, and then you have this peak, right? If you're aiming at this guy, you're actually behind this wall. You can peek like this and then just step to the right, take the shot, and then step back. Very cheeky little peek that you can land a lot of snipes without risking taking a lot of damage. Now, it's funny that I wanted to make this video today because I actually saw a video similar that Nick A30 showed this little trick, and I think I'm going to start using this. What you can do, going back to this edit, right, where we're taking shots like this is very popular right now, right? You're not very exposed. The only people that can shoot you are right in this area. This is taking it one step further, and this might be a little overboard for some people, but let's go ahead and look at this. What Nick was showing was editing a little window, just putting 2 cones here, right? Or maybe you even have a box here, but putting a cone here and a cone here. Okay, now if we want to shoot at those people over there, what we can do is edit these 3 blocks. Okay, so if we want to aim, if we're going to aim at these people over here, we want to leave this closest box untouched. All right, so you're going to edit these 3. Then you're going to edit this same triangle, same corner. Now look at the protection that we have from our right. Our right side is not exposed at all. And now we can sit here and take shots at this guy with likely not taking any damage from anybody else. And if somebody starts shooting at you, boom, you can just place a wall there. You can reset this, reset this. You can step back and not take as much fire very simply. So if you guys have any other questions or you have any comments, this was helpful, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.